Naveen here. So basically, today we are going to talk about business intelligence training overview session. It is mainly Power BI is the main skill which we are going to learn about in this training. And apart from Power BI, so we are going to touch base about data warehousing concepts, where how the data warehousing or how is the data format which is going to store. So those areas also will be having the refresh about there. And then we also start about the database, which is like SQL Server. And so we also learn about data modeling tool, SSAS tabular model, so which is so we'll be learning with part of the training. So basically, main skill is Power BI. Apart from that, so we will also be learning about the data warehousing, SQL, and also SSAS tabular model, right? So these are the overall skills which we will be learning with in this particular training. Okay, so just to wanted to talk about the importance of this particular business intelligence, right? Like so we are learning this particular one. So just wanted to learn the objective of companies using this particular one, like why you should invest in business intelligence, why companies are investing in business intelligence. So how this particular Power BI tool will help them, right? So just we want to know about, like, basically without business intelligence tools also companies can analyze the data, right? So but these business intelligence tools, right? So what it will help beyond that analysis, what they were doing traditionally or earlier time, right? So nowadays how it is helping them, right? So it is like what it will do is business intelligence. Business intelligence is a process that helps us to change the data into information. Whatever the data we have it from the source, right? So that we get that into information. That information, so we get it through knowledge, and that knowledge, using that particular knowledge, so we can decide to, or we can plan or take actions, right? So to how we can improve it or how we can progress on our business, there is something kind of knowledge we get it through business intelligence, right? Intelligence means knowledge. So that is what we are getting it, right? So earlier also, without this Power BI or any of the business intelligence tools, they used to get it, but it is not like very on time, right? So it is to take its own time. Also, in order to get that consolidated one, right? Consolidate means if a company, they have business on across the globe, if they want to analyze their business, it is to not to happen like so accurately, right? So this is a system where so we will have a interactive reports where user can apply slicers to filter the data on their own, like a self-service, right? So we are developing a report, so where users can apply slice filters, and whatever the data they would like to see it, they can do it, right? And they will understand quickly within less time and take on-time actions. That is what it Power BI or any other business intelligence tools making the difference in the data analysis. Otherwise, if this data analysis is happening very late, for example, like something happened, some problem is happening, right? See, if you don't stop the problem on time, right, the loss will be very, very huge. I mean, impact will be very, very huge, right? So understanding about their business, how it is happening on time, it is very, very much necessary. Okay, so that is very much necessary, and on time we want to understand their business and take on time actions also at the same time, right? So that is very important. That is the main thing which will help in Power BI. Okay, so Power BI, if you want to talk about, So Power BI is completely a business intelligence tool where we can connect with the data and create the reports, publish them, and provide access to the business users, right? So mainly business users, they want to analyze their business and take on-time actions, how they want to improve their business, or they want to study that also. So those things mainly, they do it with Power BI. Okay, and what about this one, right? So Power BI is just a business intelligence tool. We can create a reports out of it, right? So if you want to connect with the database, right? So database also where we will be storing the data, all our business information, we will be storing it. So we connect with Power BI and we make the report. It is not like only Microsoft SQL Server. So we will be talking about different kind of data sets which Power BI can support with in this particular training. Also, so there will be like more interview questions. We get it on data warehousing area. What are the data models are there? So which data model is efficient, right? And how the data to be structured. Like we have a Power BI, what kind of structure is required for reporting? So those kind of things and all we will be talking about data warehousing area. Okay, and how about data modeling tool, SSAS tabular, right? So if you look at MSBI SSAS tabular model, right? So nowadays some companies they'll be having very huge data. Okay, so in order to make a reporting with very huge data with Power BI, considering certain limitations, it is not forward. It is not straightforward, right? So like we have to depend on this particular again Microsoft tool called SSA's tabular model. It is a data modeling tool. So where we will be doing data model with a huge data, even it can work for 250 million data also. So we can make a reporting out of it, 250 or whatever the size we have it. So we can create a data model and then we deploy this model into database and we can connect with Power BI, right? So Power BI is a visualization tool where we can create a reports and analyze the data about their business. But this is completely a data modeling tool. So this is what like end of the day. So we are going to learn in upcoming classes in this particular training. Okay. So yeah. So I think I will also provide you the time to ask the questions, whatever you have it. So in the end, not to divert in the starting. So let me continue with this complete flow as a flow. And if you have any questions, so we'll continue with the questions in the end. Okay. So yeah, so let's go with. So if you could see, I want to take you through more in some more detail about this particular training. As I already told, right? So we get the data from any business. For example, if you take any kind of business, let's say if you take Amazon, that is a retail, right? So retail means somebody will order it and they purchase it. Or if you take Lenovo, right? So they will also we can order it through online also. So we have a lot of Lenovo stores are there, right? So which means Lenovo has, right, two kind of businesses there. So one is offline business and one more is online business, right? So offline business means they sell their products in their stores. Also, they will also do selling in different channels through different retail places like Amazon, Flipkart, or whatever the availability is there. So they'll be selling their products in different mediums also, right? So end of the day, they are selling, right? So if they wanted to know, so how much is been sold on particular day, today maybe, or yesterday, how much profits we got it, right? So that profit, which region, how much sales we got it, which region, which business unit, or which model, right? So they will have their own business in different models, different regions, right? Different prices, right? So everything they might wanted to analyze and take a decision based on the, how is the moving of the sales or moving of the products, right? If they want to make that business more, profitable or more sustainable, right? So they want to analyze this particular data, right? So that is the data they get it through, raw data. It is like, source data or base data. They get it through any of the different mediums. They get it, right? And the format of the data, they get it from different places, different structure, different files. They will be getting the data with, right? So that data, so we want to construct in one place data warehouse, right? So if you could see it here, the data what we are getting, that will be loading into one place called data warehouse system, right? So data warehouse means nothing but database only, right? The database, but we store it in a properly. For example, if you take any of the, let's say we have some go down is there, go down, or let's say we'll take medical shop, right? So in medical shop, if you go to the shop, right, they will give you the medicines very quickly because they have organized all the medicines properly in one place. The same medicines, if they don't organize it, if they throw like a dustbin in that particular room, whatever the shop they have it, right? In order to get the medicines, it will take a longer time because they have to search it, right? So it will take longer time, correct? So it is data warehouse means in data side, right? It is a place where they store the data in an organized manner or an efficient manner, right? So whatever the data they get from different source systems, right? So they will be doing with some of the tools called ETL tools. ETL means extract, transform, and load. The tools are, used to create a jobs, right? So create a job means they can extract the data from different sources and they can transform it. Transform means they can structure the data in a proper manner and load it into the database, right? So it's a simple thing. Data, whatever they get it from different places, they extract it, transform it means structure it, and load it into one place called data warehouse, which means we are organizing the data to store it in an efficient manner, so which will take less space also. Even if you take phone also, our phone, if you take 25 photos, same photo 25 times, right? So it will be like we are consuming more memory, but invalid data is there. Only one photo is enough also, if it is same photo means, right? So we have to delete that 24 photos, which is not required. Because if you go with like same fashion, after a few months, our phone storage will be nil, right? So data warehousing means it is like costing to the companies to maintain the place to store the data, correct? So it is not like we store it in a room or something. So it is like we will be storing with some kind of disk or some kind of cloud area, or everything will be cost actually, right? In order to maintain this infrastructure to storage, it will be like cost way, right? So while loading the data, we also filter it, what we need it, we store it. Let's say here we get one table having 30 columns are there. Out of 30, for my report, I need only 20 always. Then I will load only 20. The other 10, I will keep as it is here, right? So if that is how we refine the data, and from there, right, let's say in this particular one, we are storing, let's say some 20 columns, out of which I need for my report development, for Power BI report development, I need only 20 columns or 10 columns. Okay. So I take whatever I need it from the data warehouse and I create a report, right? For another report, I might need all other data also. For some report, I need less data. So depending on the requirement, we take required data and we create a report in Power BI. right? So Power BI using, database, we connect with the data and create the visualizations. This is the one. If you look at here, bar chart, line chart, pie chart, donut chart, right? There are like lot of visuals are there, right? So those visuals will help the user to analyze their business quickly, right? So we are representing the data in pictorial manner where it is easy and convenient for the business users to understand the data. Okay, so where we can also have some more facilities like user can apply the filter. For example, we have a country filter is there, right? So country, so we can choose India and they can get the data about India. They can choose US, right? So they can get the data about US, right? So they have facilities and they can also switch back to the date. They can choose current year or previous year, right? So if they want to analyze their business, right, applying filters, everything they can do it. So what they get it, right? So by using these particular reports, they get, business intelligence. Intelligence means knowledge, right? So end of the day, they get the knowledge from this particular business intelligence tools, right? So that knowledge, they will conduct the meeting with the people and they will make the decisions, discuss after performing many of the discussions, right? So they'll make decisions how they want to improve their business, right? So that is like strategy they'll follow, like, okay, so if you go with this way, so we can sustain and we can get more sales or more business we can make out, or this model is going good, right? So we can, target to on this model only, providing the, more inputs or whatever the strategy they're like to follow with, right? So kind of thing they do it, and that's where, so it helps them to improve the business. Also, sometimes using the existing data, they can also get the, forecasting of futuristic data, also predicting the future customer behavior also. Based on the existing sales which is happening, they can also predict the future data also using existing data. So that is like, data science, right? So data science is something, it is part of BI only, but for that, so we will be using, Python or machine learning tools, like, so using the existing data, we create a, forecasting and planning data, and that data also, whatever we generate from existing data, so we store it in the data warehouse system only. Again, we will be making the report, the forecasting data also with the Power BI only. Okay, so this is how the, overall the process will follow in the business intelligence projects. So I want to take you through a few more things like in detail. So this is like a generic one I told you. So if you want to go with, like, if you could see this architecture of the projects, right? So we will get the data. It might be from different systems, sources actually. It might be Excel, CSV, or any other ones. Like if you look at, like, Amazon.com, they will be using whatever we order it through app. There are different apps will be there, all our user interfaces where we can enter our values through parameters, right? I want these products, how much is the price? So we put it on shipping, providing everything, the details, all the data, it goes to one of the database they will be maintaining in the backend, right? So that is a simple example for any business, right? It could be offline business or online business, or it could be any industry. We will talk about different types of industries also. So the data, what we get it through ETL. ETL means extract, transform, and load. So this is another one part what we will have it in the BI projects, right? So through ETL, right? So we will be loading the data into one place, right? So we will maintain ODS layer also. We will talk about more in detail about data warehousing classes, upcoming classes about this, right? So we get the data into ODS. It is like copy, we take it and we perform the transformations to load into data warehouse. So if it is very huge, like we will have sales data mart, volume data mart, inventory data mart. If it is a big organization and huge data will be there, so we'll maintain separate data marts also of the respective one, sales separate data mart, right? Volume separate, like that. And there we will get the BI analytics. BI means business intelligence, right? So we are the one, right? So we are going to represent the data, whatever it is happening, right? To getting the data, collecting the data, shaping the data, and storing the data in a proper manner. Then, so we are there, Power BI, right? Power BI or any BI tool. So we connect with that, data, what we have it from the database, and we create, reports to analyze the data. So you could see users will access the reports through online and they can analyze the business, right? So we also have MDM sometimes, right? It is like MDM means it is like, so we'll talk about all these things in detail, like in upcoming lessons. Okay. And if you look at here, data warehousing. So where here we keep, whatever the necessary data we want. Let's say we have a business from last 15 years, right? So I might want only for 3 years in reporting it, right? Remaining, I will archive it and keep it. Like for example, our phone memory storage is full, right? With full of photos and videos, right? So we transfer to memory card or something, right? So same fashion. So we'll, company will, back up the data to another repository called MDM or metadata repository, or MDM we call it with. Okay. So that's how it will be maintained. So this is the, architecture of the, most of the standard projects which we'll be having with them, right? So our job will be simple only. It is a BI tool. So we connect with the data and we make the reports out of it. So for that, so we should know end to end about the BI tool, then only we will be able to work on it, right? So yeah, let's see that. Like if you look at, we are talking about data. So I told, something called Lenovo, right? So Lenovo is just a manufacturing company, right? They will be having different products like laptops, right? So they will be, manufacturing that. And so that is a manufacturing unit, right? We also have financial services, right? It is like kind of different types of domains of the data. We might get it in a project, right? But when you join one project, it will be one domain only. For example, I joined with ICICI Bank project, then I will be working for ICICI Bank data only, right? If I join with Unilever, then I work with Unilever project, right? It is like what client we get it. So based on that data, we will be working with. If I join with Flipkart, then I'll be working with all the data, what we get it from Flipkart, right? So that data, so we'll be making the reporting out of it. Similarly, Nestle, if you could see food and beverages, aerospace, airline data, telecommunications, right? Vodafone is there. See, so like this, different domains of the data we might work with. See, it doesn't matter for a BI developer. It could be any data. So we want to make a report out of it. For that, we need to understand the requirement. What is that they're looking for? Business objective. Out of that, we want to create the visualizations to, create the reports, right? And that will be given to the business people. They will analyze their data, right? So that's what it happens. But we might get the projects on any of the domain or any of these particular industries. It is not like I have not listed all the companies of the all the domains. For example, I have given few of them, right? So most of the Indian projects, I would say that it will be on financials, manufacturing, healthcare, e-commerce, food and beverages, and yeah, so these many only most of the projects we will be having it. Even if you say electronics also, that also comes on manufacturing. If they are manufacturing certain electrical items, that can be treated as manufacturing client also, right? So most of the projects we will be getting on this particular one, and some of the projects on oil and gas. So those kind of projects also will be there, right? It depends what project we get it. So we have to understand the requirement and we have to work on it. Okay. So these are the different kind of industries what we have it. And if you look at here, this is the actual one. If you look at, let's say we have a Tableau as a BI tool, right? So it will be like this. in any of the project, this is how the flow will be. If you look at Power BI, for example, if you're using Power BI as a visualization solution, right? So we'll have a storage, like it is a database, and we will also have integration and processing area, right? So what is this integration means? ETL tool, right? So we'll be getting the data from different places, and through ETL tool, we'll load it into storage layer. From storage, we will be creating the report connecting with the data, right? If it is Tableau BI tool, let's say we have, so it can be optional, right? Companies can choose any of the BI tool, right, for their reporting, any of the database for their storage, any of the ETL tools to perform the transformations. Or in the same company, they might be using different regions, different tools also they might use it. End of the day, we integrate entirely into one place and we create a reports out of it. Yeah, so this is like this is how the process will go on any of the business intelligence area, right? So mainly for ETL and storage and BI, right? It depends. It is not like we have only Power BI, we have only Tableau, right? Or storage also we have only SQL Server, nothing like that, right? So if you look at in the market, so we have different BI tools are there, different storage layers are there, different ETL tools are there, right? So there are different options companies has. Out of different options, right, whatever they have it. So if you look at the Power BI, why Power BI, why we want to learn Power BI, right? If you could see, right? So Power BI stands #1 position in the market. If you look at here, this is like 2021. As of February 2021, Power BI, Microsoft Power BI stands #1 position in the market, right? If you look at 2015, Tableau was #1, right? So Microsoft was like somewhere around like 2012 onwards, it is started slowly, right? If you look at here, it was not #1, right? But if you look at now, from last 4 years, Power BI stands as a #1 position in the market, right? If you look at ability to execute and completeness of vision, right? So on these two areas, right? So Power BI is sustaining very, very good, and it is standing #1 position in the market. Out of all the business intelligence tools, we have it in the market, right? So which means Power BI can help companies whatever they're looking for. For example, they can create or they can connect with n number of data sources. They can perform transformations through Power BI. They can do most of the things with Power BI, and it has latest lot of capabilities like visualizations, and also cost wise it is very, very less for companies to choose Power BI, right? There are a lot of factors which is causing companies mainly to choose Power BI tool, right? But still Tableau also #2. If you look at here nowadays also 2021 also, so Power BI stands #1 and second place is Tableau. Tableau is also having openings, but so when you compare with Power BI, it is a bit less, but yeah, so both stands #1. Okay, so that is the main thing to talk about here. So if you look at, as I told, there are n number of ETL tools are there, right? So database are there, and also BI are there, right? So it is not like one tool, but out of which Power BI stands #1 position in the market. It has a lot of openings, right? Similarly, ETL tools also there. Like if you learn about any ETL tool, let's say SSIS, if you study, right? So you can get the job in SSIS also. Or if you learn anything, talent or data stage informatica, we can learn it. But what is that like main thing is Power BI is, it is a new tool in the market, recent one, and companies are still choosing it. Power BI as a BI tool for their projects for data analysis purpose. So that's where we have huge opportunities in the market, right? So someone wanted to quickly learn and get the job, right? It is easy that like we can learn SQL and Power BI and get that job, right? If something in ETL also we can get it, but it will take long time to get it, as this is a tool which is there from long time, and we have resources also available since long time, and the openings will be kind of thing is bit less. That's what it is, I would like to say. So there, right? So if you look at we're talking about Microsoft, right? The scope of learning Microsoft tools, correct? So one is like they had the SSRS tool earlier. It is like more of a traditional tool. It doesn't have much of capabilities in SSRS. But so we have Power BI recently came, right? So and it is sustaining as a number one. So most of them, they are like degrading SSRS and using migrating the reports from SSRS to Power BI. So that's where the employment is coming while doing the migration. So they need Power BI resources. It is coming, and companies who are using existing BI tools, because of the cost and kind of features available in Power BI, they are switching on to Power BI also. That's where we have the lot of opportunities. Yeah, 1 second. So I was talking about the scope, right? Now, if you look at here, data modeling tool, right? If companies has huge data, they can depend on, data modeling tool of Microsoft, right? Which is SSAS Tabular. Or earlier we had MDX cube, multi-dimensional cube was there, right? So, but nowadays, people started using more of a tabular data because, so which can be deployed in cloud area, and also which is easy for reporting, also reporting space where BI tools accepts tabular form of the data instead of three-dimensional structure. So this is also something can be done by, something can be learned by people, and they can get the jobs on here also. Okay, and ETL we have it. So since long time, so we have these ETL tools available in the market. Like if you look at here, SSIS, that SSIS is there from long time, where so we can perform data transformations, data loading, all these things can be done through ETL. And also, so we also have cloud, Azure, right? Azure Data Factory or Azure, where Azure is something where end-to-end we can do it with cloud from Microsoft, right? So if you start your career with Power BI, okay, so Power BI if you start with, if you in future if you want to learn something else, right, in the same place like Microsoft itself, there is a lot of scope to learn new things. Like you might start with SSIS, or if you want to start with Azure, right, you can learn it. So initially it is like base to get the job quickly through Power BI, and later on if you want to upgrade yourself, right, so you can there is an opportunity to learn the skills also, or within the Power BI also you can sustain for long time. Okay, so that is the scope we have it on within Microsoft, and Microsoft career will be always standard, right? So if you look at the SSIS, right, so it is there from long ago, a decade back onwards, we have people using SSIS stably, like on their projects for data transformations and data engineering works. Okay, and MDX cube is still there from long time, mainly when we do not have proper BI tools in the market, right? So people used to create MDX data modeling tool and create the Excel based reports, and they used to analyze their business and all that point of time. But nowadays, so people started using BI tools. So this is something as a self-service, people can use it nowadays also, where so we can do entire data modeling of creation of measures, everything, and create only reports with drag and drop of using Power BI tools and do that also. Okay, so this is the scope what we have it in Microsoft area where if you do the learning, right? And yeah, let's come to actuals. So we're learning about mainly in this training Power BI, right? So within particular Power BI, so we have developer tool is Power BI desktop, right? So what is the Power BI desktop, right? It's a simple tool. Let me open the Power BI tool, right? So if you look at here, so Power BI desktop, it is a developer tool to create dashboards, reports, and stories. It comes as a standalone application. It is a one app what we install in mobile, right? Similarly, in laptop or in our machine, we install it, right? So with this application, Microsoft Power BI, right? So we can connect with the data and we can start developing the reports, right? So if you look at here, so this is the interface of Power BI tool. Okay, so we are going to learn about end-to-end about this particular tool. For example, if you got a new mobile, right? So we'll be looking up what options are there, how to use that mobile and all, right? Similarly, this is a small tool. Microsoft Power BI desktop is a tool where we can develop the reports. How to develop the reports? We should have knowledge how to use this tool extensively, right? So that is what we are going to learn about in this particular training. It is like, how we can connect with the data, what and all different types of connections are there, right? So what are the benefits are there in which connection, how to analyze the data, how to create a required columns or measures using DAX functions, how to develop the visualizations, right? Each and every option, of course, right? So for example, now we could see we have get data is there. So we can get the data using Power BI, or we can also use the database, right? Similarly, if you want to just load the data, simply connecting with any of the database, so we can go to the database and we can, just load the data, right? So for example, so I select a table and I try to load the data. Okay, so now you could see I just load the data, right? So it is asking, so all these things we will learn it, why it is asking, what is this, what else is there, we have it, so which one is good, right? So all this, each and every option, so that if you know everything about this tool, right, it is easy that to work on Power BI. Okay, see now, so we have to use this data and we load it. Once we load the data, I could see these tables are here, right? So we can also search. Let's say, for example, I would like to search with region. See, we are getting a region. Or I would like to search with customer name. See, we are getting customer name, right? So it is like, it is a simple tool, but even though it is simple, we should know everything, because we are learning, we are telling that, we're going with the experience. We already know Power BI and we are working on it, right? So we should know each and every option in Power BI, then only we will be able to work on it. Simply, if you know, okay, let's say install this tool, get data, I get this, right? It is not the thing, right? End to end, if you know, then you can easily, comfortably, you can work on the projects, right? So we should know end to end, each and every option. So what is the purpose of that option? How do we use it? Then we will be able to work on it. For example, if you want to transform the data, or if you want to shape the data, right? So we can go to transform data, right? So with this particular options, what are the different options we have it, right? So we can shape the data in required format before creating the reports, right? So all these things happens through this particular one tool, right? And if you look at, if I want to take you through this particular tool quickly, right? So Power BI desktop, if we are talking about, right? So this is the data modeling area, right? Data modeling means where we will be creating the relationship between the tables, right? Using the common fields, we will be creating the relationships, and how the data modeling will work, we will learn properly in upcoming lessons when we start with Power BI. So we'll learn that. Okay, and this is the place where we can analyze the data, right? So how is the data? We have it on different tables. We can analyze it through this particular data data window, right? And here is the one where we can build the visuals, right? Using the visualizations, like we have the bar chart, if you could see. So we take it. So we should not blindly take all these charts, right? So we should take right visual as per the scenario or as per the requirement, whatever it has been provided with, right? So we'll talk about everything like in our classes, like upcoming classes, like how we can learn all these things. So if you look at here, so we can just drag and drop and create the visualizations and reports out of it here, right? So it could be anything, like for example, so if you want to create a line chart with right, so we should know, like as per the requirement, so we should be able to create required things and create the report out of it, right? Simply if you don't know everything, simply if you drag and drop, it will not help in the reporting. But so we should know all the options out of Power BI, so that so we can create report out of it, right? So simply we can drag and drop and get it, but so we should know like the usage of the each and every option here, whatever we have it. So that's what we're going to learn about in this particular training, and you should be able to 100% confidently you can work on it, kind of the knowledge which you will be getting from this end to end, right? So I'll ensure to cover end to end in this training, so that if you practice and learn it, you will be able to work on it confidently without taking anything support also, right? So that is like more about here, right? You could see, so we can quickly do it, and we can also apply slicers also, right? If you look at here, filter also we can apply it. For example, segment, I want to apply a filter, right? So see now, so we can apply a filter. Let's say I want to see the same data for corporate or home office. See, it is interacting, right? So it is like we can give slicers, and we can also provide like values like based on that particular one through cards, right? So I'm just designing a small thing which to show you like how this particular tool is working for you. Okay. Correct. So if you look at here, so this one, right? So now if you apply a filter, see the values are changing, the numbers are changing according to the filter what we apply with, right? So we can also reset it. Like this, user can analyze their data through visuals. It makes them very easy for them to understand their business. So that is what this particular BI tools will be doing with. Out of which Power BI is a simple and easy tool to learn within less time. And we can create, so once, let's say if you could see, like right now, so I, developed it. This is like Team 23, right? So I just given a name for it, for this particular report. And so this is a developer tool. Like if you want to go through this particular one, you could see Power BI desktop is a developer tool. We can create a reports and dashboards out of it, connecting with the data, right? So then we have Power BI service is there, right? So what is Power BI service? Correct. So Power BI, we are developing as a developer, we are developing the report, right? Same developer tool will not have access to the business users. So we want to publish them online, right? So if we want to publish them online to the surveys, so that business users, they will access the reports online, right? So we will provide the access to them through online, so that they will be accessing. You could see I published it to online workspace, right? So now they can see the data through online. See, so we can go to the users, can go to the, it's a web, right? If you provide access to the particular one to the users, right? So they will be able to access the report online. It is a web-based one what we developed, and we are able to publish it. And you could see now we can apply the slicers, right? User can apply it, business user, they can analyze the data, how is their business growing, right? It is a simple tool, but we should know end to end about this particular tool, starting from data warehousing area. And because like in interview they will ask not only Power BI, they will also ask a few questions on data warehouse, SQL, and they might ask some questions on server, Power BI server, right? So all these things we will be learning in the training, where I will ensure to cover everything which is required for interview, and also knowledge to work on Power BI. Okay, so we also talk about different types of subscriptions. We have it in Power BI. We have a pro license and premium license. So what are the differences are there? If you could look at, there are different license. Free, it is a Power BI desktop is a free tool where we can download and we can use it. But we have pro license and premium is there. So these are the licenses. We will talk about more about these licenses in upcoming lessons to understand differences between this pro and premium license of Power BI, right? So premium is the I could say it is an enterprise version, so which is having more capabilities. So within premium we also have different variations are there, right, as per our requirement and usage. So we can use this pro license or premium also, so that can be done. Okay, so yeah, as I'm saying, so if you look at here, this is a Power BI tool desktop, right? So we connect with the data using get data, and we create the reports, right? So it is necessary that we should learn end-to-end about this particular tool. That's what so we're going to learn about in this particular one. Okay, see, like we were able to create the reports and publish them online, and we will be able to analyze it, right? So how to provide access to the business users, right? How to make changes in the report, right? How to perform transformations sometimes, right? So Power BI is having the capability of Power Query also. Through Power Query options, UI options, how can we transform the data to get it in a right shape before making the development of the report, right? So end-to-end we will talk about mainly, so I could say DAX functions are the backbone of Power BI. We need to create the measures, right? So we should know the DAX functions knowledge. Okay, so I'll ensure to teach every function with examples and scenarios, so that in interview they ask you also that you can explain the scenario of that function, and also you will be able to work on it when you have a requirements to create that particular measure. With the knowledge what we have it, we can do it. It is not like so we should have experience, but if you learn properly and if you work properly, so that is what the organizations will be expecting with, right? So we can do that. Okay, so that's the thing about this particular desktop, and also different versions what we have it. We will see whatever we have it, like more granular level. So in detail, each and every option we'll talk about in upcoming lessons. Okay, and just wanted to tell you, this is the roadmap of the training, which how I'm going to take you from next day onwards. This is the overview session, right? Or we can call this as a demo session, today's class, correct? So from starting from tomorrow, right, as I mentioned, I'll be starting with the data warehousing concepts. It is necessary that we should understand what is data, how is the structure should be there in the data, what are the different data models are there, so which model is best, or which model have which properties we have it, right? So all these things we will learn. It is a more of a theoretical area, and we will also see practicals when you come into Power BI and the SQL side of the data warehousing area. Okay, so and I'll be next covering with SQL Server. Mainly, why do we need SQL Server, right? For example, I create a report using Power BI Desktop, right? If you look at here, this is a Power BI Desktop. I'm getting something 1.1 million, 31 million. Whether this number is correct or not, we should verify it, right? So how we have to verify it? Let's say I'm connecting from the database. I want to write a query to the database, right, to check these report numbers, whatever displaying are correct, right? So in projects, right, like we will be we have to write unit testing at least as a developer, right? Simply we cannot create something and we cannot give it, right? It should be correct also. To verify, for verification, we can write SQL queries also. That is must and should required, like at least like knowledge point of view, the SQL, right? So which I'm going to cover in the after data warehousing SQL. I cover it. So which will be, I'll take for a week, right? So which will be easy only, like the basics we learn it. Then so we started with Power BI. So with Power BI, I'll be covering like end to end, where each and every option I'll cover it, and also visualizations, right? So we should not be blindly using the visualizations in the report development. Sometimes, right? So business will give some requirement template, right? On that, if you feel like, okay, this particular visual will not help better in their data analysis, we can give our recommendation also. That kind of knowledge we should have it, right? Using the visuals like bar chart, pie chart, or donut chart, when we should use them, right? So that kind of things we will be learning it in Power BI usage of visuals, right? Visuals we'll be covering with. And also I will start with the DAX functions. I'll be covering around 230 functions with examples and scenarios, how we can use them in the projects, right? It's all about like how we use them in the projects, what functionality we have it, how we can use them in the projects, like different scenario also for certain important functionalities I'll be covering with in my classes. That's what I'll be doing with in regular one. And also we'll be covering with Power BI server also, as we mentioned, like how we can publish the reports, how we can provide the access to the users, right? So how we can do security implementation, row level security, right? So all this will be talking about in the Power BI sessions, right? So which will be like end to end, I'll be covering in Power BI desktop, but in SQL, I'll be covering in what is required initially, because I don't want SQL to be covered everything in the beginning, so that like so we can learn that later, okay? And I will also be teaching SSIS Tabular, because some companies are preferring SSIS Tabular plus Power BI also. If somebody has knowledge on Tabular, SSIS Tabular data modeling tool plus Power BI, so they are opting for that particular candidates also, right, for their projects. So that's the reason, considering that I'll be teaching that also, SSIS Tabular model in my training, right? So then I'll be taking okay, project class, like it is like how is the projects, how we get the requirements, like end to end, like how we get the requirements and how we have to start our work initially on the projects. So that is like real-time project explanation class also I'll be taking with. Then at the end, I'll be taking with SQL Server advanced concepts. Okay, I will also provide the resume class, which will help you to how to create a resume, and also how to apply for the jobs in the different portals, and so those things also, which will help you to do it on yourself. Okay, and if you look at here, advanced concepts, SQL, whatever we have studied in the basics initially, I'll be taking you through advanced concepts. So there are like few topics are there, mainly they will ask you in interview, even though you have not worked on it, just to check you on that particular knowledge on theoretically, they will ask you that question also, right? So we will be learning that also in this particular one. So this is the roadmap which we'll be starting with. Tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the data warehousing concepts, right? And we'll start with SQL, and consequently, like we'll be learning with Power BI desktop. Okay. So main primary skill is Power BI, even though that like we'll learn other related skills of this particular training, which will help you in the working of Power BI as a Power BI developer or BI developer. It is easy that if you have other knowledge also to work on that particular one. Okay. So apart from that, I'll be asking questions, right? Let's say today I teach something, tomorrow I'll be asking, right? That will be like more of interview questions. Whatever the interviews people are asking nowadays, right? Like in interviews. So those questions I ask you part of the training. Let's say I teach something today, and yes, in the next day class, I'll be asking the questions, right? Which will be like mock interviews. So which will help you to learn that, on time, and prepare yourself up to date, so that, by end of this particular 2 months training, right? This is a 2 months training, 2 months, 5 days or 10 days, something like that. It will be there, right? Every day, 1.5 hours, we will be taking the classes, right? So in this 2 months training, you will be able to learn on time and apply for the jobs also end of the training, so that you can get it. Okay. And I will also share dashboards for hands-on practice. Around 40 dashboards I'll share you, so which will help you to explain about, okay, these are the dashboards which you have built in your projects also, right? You can explain them, right? Also, which will help you to hands-on practice about the reports. As you don't have 3-4 years experience in Power BI, if you practice all these dashboards and reports which I share it, you will get more practice, right? And also I'll be providing recordings of all these sessions, whatever we have it, right? So I'll record and I'll provide in the same day, so that you can go through these recordings multiple times. If somebody is if you are not able to understand and one time, right, you have a chance to go through recordings again and again multiple times and revise those topics, so that it becomes easy. I understand some of you are non-technical background also, or it doesn't matter technical or non-technical. It's a tool which everyone can learn it, right? But only thing is, it depends on how you are able to catch the subject, right? If you're not able to do it, you have to do more trials. Like you have to go to multiple times the recordings, understand what I'm saying and learn it. You have to spend more time. Some people are able to spend less time. Some of them have to spend more time, right? It depends on each and every individual person. It is nothing technical or non-technical. Everyone can learn it. A lot of BCom graduates, they got the job opportunities, right? So any degree, even somebody has done mechanical engineering, a lot of mechanical people, they got it, right? They don't know anything about this particular one, but they studied what I told, and they were able to get it. Okay. And one more thing, so I'll be providing 5 to 6 months, mostly 5 months, I'll be providing the recordings. It is not like lifetime, right? So you can start preparing yourself within 5 months. It is very easy to learn and complete the learning. And also within, if you do it like on time every day, if you put some efforts, 1 or 2 hours efforts, it based on, again, individual person. If you have more time, you can spend more time with this tool, learn it properly, then you will be able to get it within less time, the job also, right? And one more thing is, end-to-end materials I provided. So whatever I will be teaching with, that materials I'll provide it. You can go through that materials and you can learn it also. Okay. And I will also be providing placement support, which is like 100% I'll give it for boys and girls, everyone, right? So that is like, I'll be definitely giving, but if required, I'll give it. It is not like everyone has to take it. If you study properly with what I'm giving, the training, right? So most of the 70% of my students in particular team, right, they'll get their job on their own only, right? So 70% is not a less number, right? Everyone they're getting means like they're completely studying what I'm referring with. They're following me. They're putting their efforts and they're trying to getting the opportunities on their own also, right? So if it is not happening, I'm there to help you out with the placements also, how you can get the job also. I will provide all the necessary support, so which will help you to get the job also. Okay. But if you get the job also, you have to work on it, right? So it is main thing is we have to learn it, right? Getting the job is different, working is different, right? So try to learn properly. Definitely, it doesn't matter you're technical or non-technical, or you don't know anything, completely new also, you can learn what I'm referring from daily classes. You will be able to get it. Okay. The training will be daily 1.5 hours, 7:30 to 9 a.m. And yeah, so it will be like it goes on like up to 2 months, 10 days, or 2 months, 5 days. If you have less festival holidays and all, it takes like within 2 months, 5 days, or 2 months, exactly like that. Okay. So that is like thing. And if like also you can subscribe to this particular channel, YouTube channel, which is like Corporate Trainer Naveen. right? So you can also follow some of the videos and some of the training videos which is there, like my Tableau training videos are there, which I was teaching earlier. Now only I'm teaching Power BI, not Tableau. So you can also refer ETL tool, also SSIS or cloud. Some of the videos are there, which is like free of cost only. You can access them and you can learn them. I will also suggest you, like when we are learning Power BI, if you have more time, see, in order to get more knowledge, right, you can try to learn Tableau also from my videos, which are available free in my YouTube channel, right? You can go through Tableau also, so that you can keep in your resume, I have experience working on Power BI and also knowledge on Tableau also, right? So which will give more weightage in your resume, right? So all these things I'll guide you, like when we continue our training in upcoming classes. Okay, so this is like all about the training and roadmap which we are going to follow in upcoming lessons. Yeah, so anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me now.
Hi Naveen, I'm Lavanya here. So
Yeah,
previously when you have opened the Power BI desktop, may I know what is the version that we are going to use?
so we will always use latest version, which will have all the capabilities and features. So that I'll teach the latest features also up to date. So right, like Power BI, it's like completely updating, right? So every month we'll have some or the new options is coming. To ensure I have to cover all the latest features also, so I'll always teach with the latest version.
Hi Naveen, this is Raj.
Yeah, you don't need to say your name. You can go with your question, please.
Yeah, okay. Difference between license and without license Power BI.
If I'm training, I'll be guiding you how to download a like Power BI desktop, everything, all the softwares, how to install it. I'll be helping you, and I will also give you how to create a licensed account for free, right? So I'll guide you that. So using that, you can create a free license, and you can practice even Power BI desktop and server also. Okay. Any other questions, please?
Hello, Nami.
Yeah.
Are we working? Will we be working on the real-time project where we deal with the real data, and so that it would be helpful for an interview? So that
it's not like real data means real data. I don't have it. Okay.
no, I mean
so I will,
the
1 second. Yeah. So I will be teaching each and every options with a real-time scenario only. Okay. So there is like something I'm working on already. I'm also a Power BI developer or BI developer, right? So whatever the scenarios and whatever the things I'm facing with in last my complete experience on BI space, right? I'll be taking you through that. So which will make you to understand the scenarios properly. And if you get a requirement like this in future, right? So while working, you will be able to, use that knowledge and work on it. Okay, I'll ensure that like end-to-end knowledge, whatever the scenarios are there, so those scenarios I'll cover them. Okay, so with examples. If like some of the very important and bit tricky concepts are there, which I will go through with more example also, right? It is like more scenarios. I'll explain them how we can use this one in different ways in Power BI, right? So that you will be more confident on using that particular options.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, please? Okay, let me flip to other slides also if you had forgotten any question to ask. So the training will be like 7:30 to 9 a.m. Okay. Any other questions anyone has? So like going forward, right, from next day onwards, it is not like you have to ask questions at the end only. Today it is a overview session. I have not given chance to ask questions on the time, but going forward, we learn like if you have any query, you can ask me and we can clarify it and we can go further also. Okay, so that's how the training will be going on. Even I feel like I have got some recommendation also, right? Like, so we cannot teach this training in regional language, maybe like Telugu or Tamil, right? So we cannot go with, but definitely why I'm teaching in only English is like, if you go multiple times, right? These technical terms and all, you can understand properly. Okay, these technical terms and the terminologies, you should get it. So don't prefer to go with regional languages. Try to learn in the English only, so that these technical words you will remember it while listening the classes also, so that it is easy for you to continue on the job. Okay, so the more practice you do it, the more easy it becomes. Okay, I think if nobody has any question, then we will close this session now. Any questions anyone has still?
On average, how much is the salary package for the Power BI developer is taking right up now?
In software industry, right, like every 1 year we'll get 2 lakhs package. Let's say 5 years means 10 lakhs. Okay, but it is not like 2 lakhs only. If good performance is there, 2.5 lakhs also they'll pay, which means 10 years you will get, like, 5 years you will get 15 lakhs also, right? It depends, but initially so like if you are keeping for, let's say, if you are completely new to this one and if you want to try with, so I'll guide you all those things in upcoming actuals. Okay, so mostly the minimum package you get, it will be like around 6 lakhs. Most of them will getting 6 lakhs minimum. Okay, and that goes to up to 25 lakhs also. Okay, if you have more experience on it, experience not only in Power BI, other areas, but like Power BI also, if you have some 3-4 years and people are getting 20 plus lakhs. Okay. Okay, then I think nobody has any questions. We will stop this session now.
Naveen, I have one more question. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, ask me.
I'm not sure if you have covered already about this. So after every class, do you have any assignment kind of things? I mean,
yeah, I will be providing some kind of assignments also, some kind of scenarios where you have to practice with and come. And if you're not doing it, I will do it on next class also. Okay. So that I'm just giving a chance to, go through that and understand from your side and learn it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, then I think that's all from my end. Thank you everyone for attending this training session. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.